Episode 139.
The Ultimate Deck Podcast. Need a show about outdoor living? This is where it's at with your hosts, Shane Chapman and Way Laurent. Thank you for tuning in. Now let the show begin. Yeah. The Ultimate Deck Podcast. Let's go.
Good day, everybody. Welcome to the Ultimate Deck Podcast. Shane and Bryce here. This has kind of become the common duo right now.
Since
Wade
we're both
abandoned
here.
us.
Yeah, he left us for
another city.
Nicer city.
Right. Peace. See you later.
Oh, you need a manager up in Saskatoon?
Yeah, I'm already there. I'm on my way.
Yeah.
What have you been doing lately, Bryce? What have you been working on? There's been some stuff happening with Deck Expo this year, that's for sure.
Deck
so far.
Expo. Deck Expo?
Deck Expo, yeah.
That's happening?
It is happening.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's going to be really good. If anybody's been there before, they know how good it's going to be. And if they haven't, well, they're about to find out.
Deck Expo in Dallas.
In Dallas. Have you ever been to Texas?
I've never been to Texas.
Never anywhere in Texas. I have not either.
I've heard a lot of people talk about Texas and how big it is.
They say it's big.
But Saskatchewan's bigger.
I was going to say
two Texases at least.
I was going to say
Saskatchewan.
We're from Canada. Everything's just big and spread out here and stuff.
Yeah.
So it's not. I don't know if I'm going to be too taken aback by that, but maybe for the Dallas Cowboys game.
Oh,
that might be interesting.
That's happening.
That'd
Who
be
are they
really good.
playing?
The Falcons.
Oh, the Atlanta Falcons.
Yeah, it's just going to be a gun show. No defense.
Bang, bang, bang.
Just throwing the ball. Good old style CFL game. No defense, throwing the ball.
Did they make the field wider?
They should, if they knew it was good for them.
That's right. They learned how to play football.
Yeah, wow. Okay. So there's this thing, Bryce, on
What's
the
this
internet.
thing?
Have you been on the internet before? Have you dabbled in internet?
I've heard of the internet.
It's decent.
It's been around for a little while. I think I might check it out.
Well, here and there. Remember how you used to get onto it?
Yeah.
And you couldn't use your phone while you were on it?
That's just, that was the best.
And we didn't have cell phones yet, so it's just like when you were on the internet, you were unreachable.
Right, exactly.
You were off the grid.
I was trying to tell my my kid about that the other day, about how we had home phones. And she was like, what?
What's a home phone?
Right, exactly. Someone would phone your house and then ask for you.
Yeah.
And then you'd have to sit attached to the wall to talk to people.
Yeah. It sounds awful, even to me, and I lived it.
Awful.
It's like, I don't want that anymore either.
Right, exactly.
I'm pissed when I have to like plug my phone in and I want to see it. And it's like, I got to stand within 3 feet of this thing.
Right.
Come on. But anyways, on the internet here, there's a new app called TikTok. I don't know if you've heard of that.
Nope.
Not that
Sorry.
either. Okay. It's similar to ICQ.
Fine. That
It's
was
like
the last
ICQ.
ICQ.
So of course, TikTok is the, what do I want to call it? The incubator of all social trends.
Oh,
now.
yeah. Easily the place where trends.
Shit, it took me a minute, but I came up with a really well-paired couple of words. To
you came up
that.
with a really trendy way to say
that's
where the trends exist.
So on there, I've started to discover this thing called, you said ASMR. I call it ASMR. I don't know if it's an acronym for, I can't remember what.
ASMR.
Yeah. And so
It's an
I've been
acronym for
watching
asthma.
Okay. Do you take in ASMR?
I'm not a huge fan of ASMR stuff.
Like you don't like it, or you
It's
just
not
don't
that
care?
I don't like it. I just I don't get the watching people eat really close to a microphone.
Right? That's what it is. It's people making weird, not even weird. People just making sounds really close into the mic. But here's the thing: up until I discovered this, which was we're talking months, maybe a year,
Right.
tops, probably not even. I didn't know that there was a name for this, but when I read about it, I was like, I know what that is.
I like that.
Because I want some more of this. But I recall, for some reason, my memory takes me back to grade school.
Okay.
And I just remember this feeling in your body that would happen sometimes, unexplainable, didn't know what it was, what caused it, whatever. But it would happen if somebody whispered to you or I don't even know what the triggers were, but I remember feeling that this kind of butterflies in your stomach kind of reaction
sensory
to
overload.
Yeah, these little sensory reaction things happening when somebody would whisper or was flicking a pen or doing something and you were just kind of focused. And so I never put 2 seconds of thought of that in the rest of my life. I never thought about it again until I discovered this article about ASMR. And the article was exactly that. It was like this lady had experienced what I was basically just describing.
Right.
Her whole life, didn't know that, and then she found a way to like trigger it. She found what was like causing her to get these little like,
and it was those
energy in your core kind of thing. And then ASMR was born. I don't know when this was, when that was, like a few years ago or whatever. People started to discover like, oh, there's like, people love this shit.
People want to watch this.
And
people want to watch me.
Now there's entire genres of TikTok stars and probably YouTubers that do nothing but ASMR videos.
Yeah, it's so weird to me.
And they just like, they click their fingernails, they make sounds in their mouth, they do all these different things. Some of them will take like, I've seen some of them like put things into like, not Play-Doh, but like moldable clay stuff, and then it crackles and stuff in the mic really close. Yeah. Some people will put stuff over the microphone like saran wrap or something, cling wrap is that an American thing? Saran is the brand.
Saran's the brand.
But I call it saran wrap.
Right. It's Kleenex.
And they'll put like, they'll take a paintbrush over top of the plastic on the microphone with goo or like, I don't know what, like sticky shit. And it makes like,
so you like that, you like that sound stuff.
I don't know about that one, but there's certainly some things like if I'm swiping through TikTok and I land on an ASMR video, I can sometimes all of a sudden snap out of it and be like, whoa, I just locked into that for like a minute and didn't really, like I just kind of like zoned out there for a minute.
I feel like
and it does make me sleepy.
I feel the same way with like those like soap cutting videos.
Oh yeah.
Those things are addictive to watch.
Yeah, there's that. I mean, that's similar, right? People that kind of get into like whatever, breaking things or cutting things up or like whatever. Yeah, it's all I don't know, somehow attracting different senses from you, and like,
or like the hydraulic press videos.
Yeah, those are cool. Those are cool. But I'm not, like, no joke, if I'm in bed and I'm not real tired yet, which is rarely happens because I don't go to bed till I'm frickin' passing out on the couch.
Yeah. Why is that?
I don't know. Because if I go to bed with any brain function whatsoever, I will lay there and just think, and I'll be wide awake.
You just need the ASMR videos.
I do. That's what I mean. Sometimes I just put my headphones in and just like turn on. It doesn't even take much, man.
Listening to someone eating popcorn. It can be a TikTok video. It's
60 seconds. And it's like, I'm out. It's cool. I enjoy it. It's
cool. I mean, lots of people like it.
People haven't, because there'll be pimple popping videos.
Oh,
Carly says on the chat here. Have you seen those?
I love those.
I'm fascinated by them a little bit. Like, they're gross, of course, but like, man, the shit that comes out of people sometimes.
Right? Exactly.
Oh man, it's all part of this weird thing of just like consumerism of
other people's
senses and like,
crazy things.
Yeah, it's weird. Anyway, enough of that talk. Go check out some ASMR videos. It's trippy. If you haven't heard of it before, it's like, I'm curious how many other people had those feelings in their past, like got that like that butterfly kind of like rush in their stomach a little bit.
Right.
Because people say they experience it at different places too. That was mine. I always got it like
right up top.
Right in my heart. Like right below my heart is kind of where I got it. But some people say it comes up the back of their neck. Like,
same feeling you got when you got married and
saw
your first kid.
Yeah, right. Had I known I could just get that with a video, like it's far less commitment. Anyway, I'm curious how many other people like are now going to go find this and be like, oh, I didn't know how to describe this before.
Is there a specific type of ASMR video that you like? Because there's a lot of sub-genres of ASMR.
Yeah, I don't know that I've dove into the genres too much. I tend to like usually they're females doing them, but I've seen some males do them as well. But usually they're kind of like, they're just whispering really softly, and they're pretending to like touch your face with the phone. It's really weird. They're like, oh, I'm just brushing your hair aside, but they whisper everything. And then like I said, the one girl like taps her glasses with her fingernails all the time, and it's like just these sounds, man. I don't know what it's about, but it makes me feel funny.
It's like experiencing the world up close. No different than like microscopes. Like I love looking at.
Sure, maybe it's a
little
similar thing. Yep.
I don't know.
Anyway, enough of that.
Ciao, ciao, ciao.
The topic for today is, and this is one that you came up with. This is fantastic. And I'm shocked we haven't talked about this yet. This is 139, did we say? And this is the first time that we're going to talk about this. The topic today is bring back the porch.
Voyeurism.
Whoa.
Yeah, you know.
11 reasons why building a deck on the front of your house or a porch is a great idea.
Yeah.
We have spent the last better part of 2.5 years teaching people and telling people all about decks on this podcast.
But only in the back.
Our intro used to even say something about like making you the master of your backyard.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden it's like, hey, what about the front yard? Oh yeah, that's an episode.
Right. Wait 139 more episodes and we'll talk about side decks.
Oh, side decks are the best. They're so rare.
They're rare.
Right? You got to have the right house for it.
Yeah, if you don't have a long house, you can't have a good side
Usually your
deck.
house is built right up on that, right up to your setback, but the odd times you find a gem where you can do a side deck.
Oh, good old side deck.
Oh, I know what I'm looking for in my next house.
Side
Room
deck.
for a side deck. I don't expect it to have it because, not super common, but I just want the ability to
Either
make one.
our porches
Right.
here.
So porches they feel like a bit of an old school thing, right? But they're coming back, at least in Saskatchewan.
Yep.
A lot of the newer subdivisions, especially the lane homes where you've got the detached garage in the back, are putting porches on the front. And now I don't know if that's something that's guided by the city, maybe, that's saying like, well, you have to. That's the design requirement for those neighborhoods, maybe. But they're making a bit of a comeback in our area.
They're cool.
I don't know that they ever went anywhere in some areas, like the Northeast US and stuff like that. I think that porches they never went anywhere.
See, they're smart. They knew. They knew.
But certainly as some fallout from the awful architecture days of the 1980s and 90s, where we decided that the first thing you should see when you pull up somebody's house is a giant garage door.
Oh, yeah. And like a tiny little front door.
Yeah. And like a couple concrete steps.
And that's it.
And it's like, it's destroyed our neighborhoods. If you want to look at inner city problems, it's the lack of a porch.
It's the lack of porch?
Lack of porch. This could be one item right now.
The lack
Why
of
is
porch?
America falling?
It's the lack
They
of
got rid of
porch.
porches.
Right. How come Saskatchewan isn't just destroyed then?
Well, I wouldn't exactly say we're killing it over here. Like, we've been in better places before.
We've solved the world's problems.
Right.
Front porch.
So here we go. Here's 11 reasons why you should consider putting a porch in the front of your house. Now we're talking either like just a deck on the front, or this could be a roofed structure, or it could be fully enclosed porch structure
too. Yeah.
We don't discriminate.
We like all three.
All three porches are just fine by us.
Right.
Number one is the curb appeal.
Good porch looks real good as I'm driving by.
I'm not even kidding. So I know that having a detached garage is, and you don't even have to have a detached garage to have a porch, but most of the houses, at least here, do, right? If you got the porch in the front, your garage is in the back, and it's usually not attached. It's a lane home. And I know that that's less desirable. People want attached garages. However, driving down a street that's full of houses with porches in the front
Oh, yeah.
looks so much better to me and feels like so much more of a community to me than driving down the street when it's just a bunch of attached garages poking out the front and driveway.
Yeah.
Like I love the look of it. You actually see, the facade of the front of the house, how the design elements of the house, like it's just the house is closer up onto the street, like closer to the street, so it feels a little bit more lively.
It feels accessible.
Yeah. I love it. When I go into, like, say the Greens, I think has got a really good example of this, the Greens neighborhood in Regina. And I don't know what street it is, but it's like the first one you pull in. If you go deep enough into the Greens, you get into all the houses with the garages in the front.
Right.
But the less expensive houses are the ones that don't have the garages in the front. They're detached, and there's a nice street that kind of goes around the outside of the Greens when you first come in, and it's all porch style houses. And I think that street looks amazing.
I agree.
I love it.
The porch on the front of the house, as we are going to get into, is just, no one sits on the front porch. It's good looking.
I think the curb appeal is a great reason to do it. It just makes the house look nicer.
If you think a deck looks good on the back of your house, why doesn't it look good on the front?
Right? It's no different than a tattoo. You can put it on your back or you can put it on your face. Where is it going to look better?
On your face.
That's what I said.
That's where people are going to see it.
Right? You want to talk about curb appeal? Nobody's going to see your deck on your back.
I don't want no tramp stamp deck.
Right? Exactly. Oh, boy. Number two.
You do, but
Number two plays off number one. It's the meet your neighbors. Do you remember the time? I don't. When I feel like this is before my time.
block parties.
Do you remember the time when you knew your neighbors, though?
I don't know. I know one of my neighbors.
Currently, right now?
Currently.
And like have a relationship with them, or you're just familiar with them?
Well, I think probably
His name's Brad. He lives next door. I know who he is. I see him.
I know who he is, but I think the only reason I even remotely know who he is he went to the same school as me.
Oh, that's
he was
cheating.
a grade younger.
That's cheating. That doesn't count.
It's cheating.
You didn't meet your neighbor. You just
No, he was like a brother.
But you live in a bay.
I live on a bay.
So I feel like that's even kind of
Everybody should have a porch on a bay.
right. But I feel like bays are even a little bit different because they encourage community a little bit more. You're all sharing the same little stretch of street. There's no through traffic. The only people that come down your bay are the people that live in there. The kids go out and they play hockey in the bay. It's slow street. Like I feel like people know each other more in bays. I could be wrong. But meeting your neighbors, I just think like it's so much nicer when you walk out your front door and there's other people actually out there existing in the front. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And when it's just a garage or a garage in the front, people walk from inside their house into the garage, get in their car, door comes up as if it's some sort of secret spy agency.
Yep.
Car backs out, door closes. You never see those people.
Yep. You're like Batman.
Right? Just out the cave every morning.
Exactly. In and out.
You don't develop a relationship with your neighbors. Now that said, I have a porch home, don't know my neighbors. That's
because you park in the back.
Right? That's not completely true. Well, sorry, that kind of is because I park in the front. They both park in the back, both neighbors. But I do know my neighbors. I know their names. We say hi. It's whatever. But if I had a garage in the front, I wouldn't make the effort. But I just think it's more it's more community friendly, local community friendly on your street. I know that I've done a job back in my building days in the Crescents, which is a beautiful neighborhood in Regina. I don't know how old that neighborhood is. Probably 100 years damn near. Nice big old homes. Of course, no garages in the front. They're
old.
They're nobody had cars when these houses were built. But those neighborhoods,
stables,
like so old growth trees, the big tree canopy, like they're absolutely gorgeous neighborhoods. But I remember building a deck in the front of a house one time. It was a small little, I wouldn't call it a porch, but it's just like a larger stair landing going into the house. Mm-hmm. And I was blown away by the sense of community that was happening on that street. I wasn't used to it.
Right.
Because everybody that walked by knew who lived there at that house I was working on. Mm-hmm. Everybody wanted to stop by and comment on it and see how it was going. And then the homeowner would pop up and be like, hey, Shannon, hey, Daryl, how's it going? What are the kids up to? Send the kids over. Like it was just, and the kids were up and down the street as if they owned the whole street, not just their house, right? Like they felt comfortable swinging over to the neighbor's house, doing this, whatever. Like everybody knew everybody.
So it promotes community.
Right. And at any given time, while I'm working outside, I look one direction and the other. I could probably see 30 people like that lived on that street out on their front, in the front of their house doing things. They enjoyed the front of the house.
Use your front yard.
Yeah.
Right.
So I thought that was a great feeling. I was like, this would be nice. Like I don't even know my neighbor right beside me well enough to be like, oh, send the kids. Like we just, Yeah. I just thought that was cool.
Because you got your fence. So that's one thing that I think about too. Is in small town Saskatchewan. And I don't know if this is everywhere, but people don't usually have fences in their backyard.
Right. Lots of times don't, yeah.
Right. And without fences, I think you get that community as well. But in big cities, you fence off your backyard.
It's the first thing you do.
And if people could
you don't
build
have
them
a yard
feet,
yet before you're like, keep them out.
Exactly. If you could build your fence at 10 feet without getting another permit, I think people would.
I think so. Yeah, I think you're right. So maybe we just don't even want, we don't even want to know our neighbors anymore, right?
No, nobody wants to talk to their neighbors for some reason.
Number 3 is your sun exposure and the direction your house faces. So if your house faces whatever direction, it's possible. Like it could be, there's east.
North? I've heard north is popular.
There's west. What's the northwest? That's what I was trying to think of.
Oh, northwest. Of course.
Sometimes people's backyard decks in direct sun exposure is almost too hot to enjoy. Or in certain seasons, it might be in the shade and is not enjoyable because it's too cool out there. You want to be in the sun. Having a deck in the front of your house allows you the mobility to go enjoy the sun in either location.
Yeah.
This is a common thing. People are like, we hear it all the time here. It's like, oh, I want to get a composite that doesn't get as hot because my deck is just so hot. We got to get a cover for it or whatever. And it's like, okay, so if it's scorching out there because the sun's beating on the back side of your house and the south side of your house,
yep,
you have shade on the front. So if you don't feel like going out there getting baked, could be taken 2 ways. You could get baked in your front. But if you want to break from the sun, then have a small space in the front of your house too that you can also go for a little bit of a,
Or even like my parents, they have a lake property, and they have a deck, I guess I would say, in the back and facing the lane. Because if it gets windy, you don't want to sit out in the wind.
Yes, exactly. It gives you some options.
Gives you some element. It shields you from the elements.
Sometimes you just want to enjoy the sun.
Or sometimes you want the sun. Yeah.
And you can't have it both ways in a lot of spaces. If you're in the backyard and the sun is and south exposure, you have full sun all the time.
About 2:00, my deck I have a wood deck, and it's impossible to walk on.
Yeah.
It's so hot.
Yeah.
You couldn't even sit up there.
Yeah.
But if
Now,
I had a porch.
Number 4 plays off this a bit too. But I think it's a great place to start your day. It's a more quaint space.
Do you have a porch?
Not kind of. I have too small to be functional porch.
You have a slightly larger than average.
Yeah, I would say I have like
landing.
a 6x8 landing. So it's bigger than just a stair landing that goes into my house. Like you could put a couple chairs up there if you wanted to. It's covered. Like there's a roof over top of it. And so it is a little porch. Like I can sit out there and watch a thunderstorm if I want to. But it's not. I wish it was a bit bigger that I could just put some chairs and kind of enjoy being out in the sun. And I actually wish I had an extension that came off the side of it that didn't have the roof on it. So like a roof part and then a non-roof part so that I can just I don't got to switch front to back.
I hope JC's not listening to this.
Me too, because it was actually her idea, and she'd have me building one if I actually said I was in favor of it. But I think the front of your house is a nice place to start the day. I like the back for relaxing and getting away from people. To your point, we've got a fence back there. Yep. It's our space. I may invite people over into it, but I just want to, if I'm back there, it's because I just kind of want to be, maybe not left alone, but I'm trying to get away from the world a little bit.
But you want to be outside.
And enjoy my backyard, but I want to be outside. Yeah. Whereas, first thing in the morning, I would like nothing more than to sit in the front and see the world wake up.
Oh,
and maybe that sounds goofy, but I like the idea of like first thing in the morning, you like, I want to go out and enjoy some fresh air. I like the idea of seeing people kind of getting up and starting their days and getting off for the, not getting off.
Voyeurism. Now you know.
Outed. But does this make sense to you?
No, I understand.
Yeah. Like, I don't want to wake up in the morning and be like, time to go start the day and hide in my backyard.
Exactly.
Like, I want to start the day and be like, and go see the world getting active again, too.
A few years ago, when I used to jog in the morning, I would go for my jog.
Jesus.
I don't jog anymore. I used to go for my morning jog and then come back, and then I would grab a coffee from the inside and just sit on my concrete front step.
Right. Because there's something about being on the more active side of your house in the morning. I enjoy it.
It's nice.
Or even in the evening, sometimes you want to be out. Like if I lived in the Crescents where it was, like after supper or something, if I'm going to sit outside and have a coffee or a beer, I want to, and I don't want to be a loner. I'll sit in the front where I might actually get to engage with some people.
Exactly.
And it's a more, like I said, my backyard is massive.
Your massive backyard.
But most times people's, the deck in your backyard is probably a larger space. The front can just be this quaint little spot where you throw a bistro set and sit down and have coffee. It can be this cute little
huge
spot, right?
Yeah.
And that can give you a different texture of space, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I know exactly.
That's why kids like to build forts, because they're small and like closed in. They're just like
COVID for us. We
loved fort building.
We loved building forts so much that I got Evan from Decked Out Contracting to come in to my house and permanently build a fort for my daughter downstairs.
Yeah, that's right. I've seen pictures of this thing. You absolutely did.
It's got a loft.
Do you know where those hats are? This is
which ones?
The TC Dex ones.
Yeah, they're behind us.
He just rolled in here. Oh, you got it up there? Is that the ones he just sent? So TC Dex is in here in the Instagram Live for those who are listening just later, not in the Instagram Live. We always have the Instagram going. TC Dex, thanks for the hats, buddy. He just sent us some hats. He's in here now, so I appreciate that. He's saying, I came in late. What are you guys talking about? We're talking about 11 reasons why bring back the porch. Bring back the front deck. I like the front deck. But now that you're in here, we got to thank you for the hats. I didn't send him a message afterwards. It came. I opened the box, set it down one day, and it was like, forgot to send him a message. Precision Construction says, shouting, "Get off my lawn" is far more effective from a front porch.
how could you do it
You
from
can't-
your back porch?
You can't argue that. Get off my goddamn lawn! From the back, and nobody knows where it came from. It's just yelling in the neighborhood.
Whose lawn am I getting off of?
I'm not even on the lawn. Where did that? I agree. If you're gonna shout at kids, it's far more fun and
from
effective
the
from the
front.
front. That movie, what was it with Clint Eastwood?
Wow, that's pretty vague.
No, it's not.
The good, the bad, and the ugly.
If you no,
Oh, I don't
newer,
know.
newer. Somebody in the
Gran Torino.
Was that it?
That's a Clint Eastwood movie, man.
No, it's like he was old in it.
Yeah.
It's probably like 6 or 7 years old. Like he was like 75, 80 years old.
You gotta give
And
me
he's
more
like,
than
he
just
like pulls
Clint.
guns on people in his front lawn.
Yeah, I think that's Gran Torino.
Yeah, it might be. It didn't sound exactly right, but it was like, it's really close. So you can't pull that shit from your backyard. That movie doesn't exist without a front porch.
Nope. How do you tell people to have their dogs not pee on your lawn if you're not watching them do it?
Exactly.
A sign is not as effective.
You know what? I see those little signs that people have in their front lawns sometimes, and it's a little shape. It's like a silhouette of a dog dumping on the lawn.
Right.
It makes me want to dump on the lawn.
I agree. Me too. It's like, I'll pick it up.
I want to lay a, I want to lay a prize, like a trophy worthy, right beside the sign.
I want to walk a cat right next to it and have the cat pee on it and see
Right?
what they do.
Yeah, like it's not because I think it. I appreciate their perspective. I even agree with it. I don't want random dogs crapping on my lawn either. But I just think it'd be funny
It would be funny.
for me to dump on their lawn. You're worried about the bloody dog?
What's worse?
The dog's laying down a Snickers bar. That's nothing. You can that's no big deal. You want to see what I got?
Whoa.
And I'll be back tomorrow too.
And you've been drinking
And I'll
bulletproof
be
coffee.
back tomorrow. Grand Junior was correct.
Yeah.
Number 6. I don't know if this is worth investing thousands of dollars into so you can do this, but holiday decor.
Oh, I'm a Christmas guy, so
I'm a Christmas guy, and that's why this came to my head too.
that's right.
So I like to put up a little, a couple of little blow ups in the front. A couple of little blow ups. I don't know why. This was me saying it. I don't know why my head, as soon as I started to say it, went right to blow up doll,
Yeah.
like sex doll.
Yeah, exactly.
I like. But
I put
like
a couple
to,
of those up there.
It really
put some hats
keeps
on
the
them
kids
for
off
some
the
reason.
lawn. But no, I like to put up it's a Paw Patrol one typically because I've got little kids. But I like to put the little blow up characters on the front lawn. I like to decorate, have the little things going on, whatever. But it'd be much nicer if I could put that up on my porch and kind of like wrap some garland around or some wreaths on the rail. Or like,
Oh, yeah.
It just makes it easier to decorate. I don't do much on the front of my house because it's a 2-story and there's not a whole lot of there's not detail, but there's no like, this might sound dumb, but there's no obvious connection points for ornaments. Like it's all vinyl siding.
Oh, yeah.
So there's nothing to hang stuff on. If I had a porch with railing and, roof on or whatever, it'd give me a lot more options as far as decorating my home. Because I get lazy and I plop down one of those like projector lights that just like shoots shit on the house.
Oh, yeah.
Because that's easier.
Nobody likes that.
But decorating in front of your house with a full porch, because then you can put then you can put props like Halloween too. Are you kidding me?
Halloween's good.
Because then
yeah.
you can get dressed up and you can sit out on your porch and scare the shit out of people.
Man, I love that.
Right?
I love when people do that.
What has Precision got here? Without a front porch, where will Bryce clean his guns when his daughter starts dating?
That's right.
Think about
It's
it.
a good. Where would
Lumber's
I
on
clean
sale
my
right now.
guns?
Think about it.
But
okay.
for Halloween though, it's good too because maybe you don't have to have kids knocking at your door. You can just put some candy out.
Right? I just think the houses that have that versus walking past that garage again to go up in the corner door or somewhere. Like I like when people have the full front of their house decorated. It's just easier.
It's back to it's more inviting.
Exactly.
Front porches are more inviting.
Exactly. Maybe this can all be wrapped up into one. Bring back the porch because of this one reason.
Bring back my porch.
Number 7, use the extra space. It's not just for looks, right? We talked about number 1 being curb appeal because it's true.
Mm-hmm.
Having like a porch front house is nicer looking than a attached garage out front.
Yep.
But it's not just for looks. Use the space. It's extra space.
Yeah, you got a front yard. Use it.
Yeah, everybody, I don't know if it's like this everywhere, but everybody kind of treats their front yard as if it's just the showpiece part that people are supposed to look at. And where the actual activity happens with the blow up dolls is in the backyard.
That's right.
Right?
Because
In
that's the
with the hot
private
tub.
space.
So But there's nothing saying, like, for example, for especially my little kids, I've got little kids, and I do have a southern exposure on the backyard, so I've got a northern facing house, an exposure house. But my backyard, it's cooking. We're in the middle of summer that's just hot all the time. It's just 100 degrees every day.
Mm-hmm.
And the little kids outside, they can just cook. But if all they want to do is run around and play in the sprinkler or jump in the trampoline, like, why not drag it out to the front and do it there in the shade?
Yep.
And because I don't have a lot of shade in my backyard, I didn't plant any trees. It's a newer area. There's no mature trees there.
Take a long time to grow.
But they can go roll around and play in the grass and roughhouse with the dog when he wasn't 90 years old in the front yard too, right?
Yeah.
And so then give me a place to sit and
watch them
supervise on my porch.
Right.
Because I don't want to touch the grass. That shit's ooey.
I put clover in my backyard.
I heard you put clover on there.
And it turned out really well.
You like it, hey?
It makes the grass fuller.
So it's
as
grass
well.
and clover?
I still have grass.
Would you go full clover?
I would go full clover, bro.
So if you moved to a new house that didn't have a yard yet, would you plant clover?
Yeah, 100%.
You would, and no grass.
No grass.
So why? What's the why?
It's greener.
Here we go. 10 reasons to plant clover.
10 reasons. It stays greener.
It's greener as in the color or
the color.
More environmentally friendly?
Both, I think.
Okay.
I heard it's good for lawns because it introduces nitrogen back into the soil.
Okay.
Which grass needs.
Yes.
As you would know, grass guy.
I'm a grass guy right now. I'll tell you that. I got my new hose today.
There you go. See? Clover also flowers.
My blow up dolls have like holes poked in there.
You're just gonna water through them.
I've converted them into misters, sprinklers. My blow up dolls.
I would get clover.
You would do clover.
Put clover.
So
or at least mix it. Did you know grass seed used to come mixed?
Mixed with what?
Clover. It used to be like a 30-70 split back in the 70s.
Really?
Yep.
So why'd they stop?
Because I think
people stopped giving a shit about the front yards.
No, I think it's back to our whole like printer issue. The grass companies knew that by putting clover in it would make your grass last longer, and so now the grass seed doesn't have clover in it, so you have to go get it every year to fill in your spots.
Is this a true story?
I don't know. I made that last part.
That's a great theory.
Use the extra space though.
Yeah,
it's for you.
Use it. It's your yard,
right?
Your house.
Why are you doing up your front yard if you're not going to use it?
But it's because we've gotten so hermit-like. We don't want to be bothered by anybody.
Mm-hmm.
We just want to go lay in the backyard and not everybody talk to us and build our 10-foot fence and
10-foot fence.
Honestly, that's
barbecue.
Probably a lot to it.
Well, I don't see as many basketball hoops in front of houses anymore.
Yeah, that's true. I want to put a basketball hoop in my backyard beside my garage.
See?
In the lane. I'm gonna do it. I've already talked about it, so therefore I have to do it.
Oh, I guess because
you
don't
play
have
basketball?
a garage.
Would you come over and play basketball in my back alley?
Yeah, sure. You would crush me because you're like 6 feet.
6'3".
6'3". I'm 5'7".
Yeah. Well, Muggsy Bogues made it.
The average height of any basketball player.
I can name at least one short guy that made it. Use it. It's yours. Number 8, storage space. So this one's 2 ways to look at this one. One, if your front door is high enough up, you could actually convert the bottom area of underneath your deck, like you could with any deck, into storage space. Mm-hmm. So maybe that becomes a place where you store your blow-up dolls, and you don't have to put them in the garage or whatever over summer.
Right.
And
easy access.
But I mean, you could store your lawn, like you store anything up there. It doesn't matter what you put in there, but it could become storage space. Now, if you put a roof on this thing, and then all of a sudden it becomes dry storage space, and if you close your porch right in, you can use the inside for storage space as well, right? I see a lot of houses, like older houses, especially when I go back home, and I'm not suggesting this is what you should do with it, but it's clear that they've used it as storage space. It's like front porches are just like stacked to the ceiling with boxes, and it's just like that's the place where they throw shit that they don't want to have in the house.
And the freezer. The deep freeze is always
and they don't
even
use the front porch door anymore. They use the back door because everybody's hiding.
Mm-hmm.
But it is a place that you could use for storage of certain things. Or you could, like, if it's closed in, you could turn that into like your little greenery room.
Yeah.
Right? Like it gets lots of sunlight up in porches. They stay warm. They can be like climate controlled a bit. You could put your plants up there. Shit.
Wow.
Number 12.
Yeah. Write that one down.
Damn. Okay, number 9. The roof or enclosing. This does not apply to just a deck in the front of your house. This is more the closed in or the roofed one. But this could provide some energy efficiency to your home.
Yep.
Now, what I mean by that, I think it's obvious with the closed-in porch, you do create that kind of foyer, that kind of, what do you call that? What do you call that transitionary, then words escape me. Somebody will chime in here and tell us. But like that, businesses have them all the time just to not allow airflow through when you open up one door and it closes and you open the next door. So it can give you that, right? You're not going to, your AC is running in the middle of summer. Instead of pulling the door wide open and having Scott Kelly be like, close the goddamn door, kids!
From the backyard, though.
From the backyard. Why is the goddamn door open? So now you have that buffer zone where you close the door before you go into the next one and you don't lose the cooled air out of your house as fast, or let the warm air in, I should say.
Yeah, it's like one of those biohazard rooms. Yeah. Like you walk in, it's like,
oh, I see what you're saying. Yes. Yeah. It's also good for COVID. You can do your chemical rinse in the
for the
porch.
next pandemic.
Get ready. Get ready. It's going to happen. But vice versa in the winter as well. You don't let all the warm air out of your house when you got heating. So it can certainly provide some energy efficiencies. And also if it's got a roof over top, one major source of heat in a house is sunlight through the windows. And so if you've got a front porch that runs the length of your front house and you're not getting sunshine beating through your main windows, like primarily your largest windows of your living room, which is usually on the front of the house often.
Front side.
Then you're not having the sun beating through, and it's going to help you to control things a little bit climate-wise there as well. So it could be a more energy-efficient way or benefit as well.
Here's another one.
What's that?
The biggest windows are on the front of the house. If you have a nice front porch, it gives a much better view through your windows.
It certainly could, yep.
Right?
You could frame things outside a little bit.
Yeah.
Yep. Absolutely.
Anyways.
Why not? What do we got here? We got some a vestibule.
Vestibule.
There. Scott Kelly came in here. An airlock. Tricky name to remember. Airlock, I think, is kind of more like
that's what I was
you
thinking.
were referring to. Yeah.
Going into space.
Speaking of which, did you tune in to any of the Richard Branson went to space?
No, the only article I saw about it was that Virgin Airlines had to say that Richard did not bike to the launch, because there's a video of him like
biking, I saw that video.
And then he like pulls up.
So Virgin came out and had to say that?
Yeah, they were like, Richard did not do that. That was just a promotional video.
Why did they feel the need to come out and say that?
I don't know. I think someone called him on it. They were like, you biked 10 kilometers before
stupid.
You went into space?
The world is so dumb. I did think that was kind of funny. When I saw the video, I was like, really? Like, it's like this moment in human history. You're the guy and you're just gonna roll up to your launch pad on a bicycle? Okay. You do you. I don't care.
Do you, man.
The guy's 75 and in great shape. So I was like, well, he just rolls this way.
He bikes everywhere.
What's he going to do? Buy a Tesla? That's his main competitor.
Did you hear Elon bought a ticket?
I did hear that. So anyway, now I've seen, what's the scientist's name? DeGrasse. Neil deGrasse?
Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Neil deGrasse Tyson. There we go. I was like,
Degrassi, hi.
Yeah, so he's come out and said that, like, no, he didn't go to space.
He didn't even break the atmosphere.
He didn't get there.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, thanks, Neil. All that guy does now is go on TikTok and tell people they didn't accomplish shit that they said they
exactly.
That's his entire shtick now. He's like,
he's the world's troll.
He totally is. He is Debbie Downer. He is her.
Science troll.
He's just
exactly.
Go to space. But technically you didn't go to space. Here's why.
You
Shut up.
Made it.
Everybody else believes I went to space. I did some cool shit. Don't rain on my parade. Number 10, increase the value of your home. So for all of the reasons we listed before, it increases the value of your home because you get the extra space. You might have storage. The curb appeal is probably the biggest part of this. The energy efficiency may not be something people think about when they're buying a home, but just, having that spot in the front of your house that looks great and is a place to go and hang out and is more inviting and more kind of feels like it blends into the neighborhood a little bit more, and the house is more lively and its house is closer to the street as a result of the fact that it doesn't have the garage in the front, and all this stuff means it's probably more attractive to people who are buying homes. So it inevitably increases the value of your house.
Unless they don't want to meet their neighbors.
unless they don't want to meet the neighbors. Yeah, then they'll go by the garage. But they're probably not even looking at your house in the first place then, porch or no porch.
No.
But I just try to think, like, the houses on my street, man, if I didn't have that little porch in the front of my house, it would just be an ugly box.
Be an ugly box.
And the houses across the street from me, if they didn't have their nice, like, full width porches they have, and the little roof line and stuff, it would just be a square box. Like, it adds so much, it becomes the whole character of the house.
Well, that's why when you said that houses have big windows on the front, it made me think, why don't houses have bigger windows on the back? Because that's where people put their money, generally, into their backyards, right?
Yeah, that's true. I mean,
like, why do you want to look
do.
at the streets? Yeah,
right. Rich people, they know where it's at.
Yeah,
because they know they're gonna have kick-ass stuff in the backyard.
Mm-hmm.
So they'll put the big windows in the back.
And if you got a pool in your backyard, you need big windows.
I agree. Number 11, last one. This is my favorite.
This is your favorite?
This is my favorite.
I mean, you do like to do this a lot.
Do you have a porch?
I don't. I have a concrete step.
Okay, so where do your Amazon packages go?
They go on my concrete step.
Exactly.
But I have a bay.
Yes, you're right. You do have a little bay. So this was a late ad. We added this late, but it was like, and I thought about it while we were doing the other ones, and I was like, that seems like a goofy thing to put. But in today's world, it's not that goofy. People actually spend money on lockable boxes and like these different things,
doorbell
cams, or they have like secret places to stash the items and the money, whatever, because they feel like, because porch pirates are a real thing.
Totally.
Like, there's a lot of assholes in the world who go up and steal people's shit off their front step. Like, it's so bad that there's like YouTube channels of people punking these guys. Yeah. So have you seen these?
I've never seen them.
Oh my God, really? You have to watch some of these. So there's some guys, like, it started, I don't know if there's multiple channels, but the ones I've seen is this guy a long time ago had somebody steal stuff off his front porch, Amazon box, whatever it was. And he's like, this is crap. Like, and most of the time, like, you see these people on your doorbell cam and do what? What exactly can you do? Like, all it does is prove that, yes, somebody did in fact take it. It didn't blow away.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Like,
you took it.
Some guy in a hoodie, like, the cops don't care.
No.
So what he did was he started tricking out these boxes that were basically Amazon boxes with the tape and everything. But inside he would put in, like, I can't remember what all the things were, but like glitter with glue bomb or whatever.
Wow.
And then he took some like cell phones and strapped them to this thing so that they could record live video. And then he built some mechanism in it where he could remotely like detonate it.
But it wasn't a bomb.
It wasn't a bomb, but it was a sparkle bomb or something, right? Or a
yeah.
dye bomb or something to that effect. And so he would make these things, leave it on his doorstep, and then
someone would steal them.
Inevitably, it sits there long enough, somebody comes up, steals the box, they go out to their car, they drive away, they go to peek inside the box, they're covered in like glue and sparkles.
The inside of their car.
And the inside of their car. Like, everything around them gets covered in shit.
That's
right?
amazing.
And so I think it's fantastic. But that's why this actually is a legitimate point. The porch allows you to have this kind of safer entrance into your house. Did we talk about the entrance thing?
No, you left it off the list. I thought it wasn't cool enough.
Well, I thought I put it on there.
Oh no, more functional. You just checked it off.
Oh, I just didn't. Yeah, more functional entrance. More fun. Yeah, we didn't actually talk about it.
No,
the more functional greeting. Okay, well, let's go there.
Quaint to holiday.
Okay, fine. We'll finish the Amazon thing. So it's not just Amazon, but any front deliveries. Delivery to your home is such a common thing now, and it doesn't matter whether it's a package from Amazon or a package from tuds.ca, or a meal or like supper from Skip the Dishes or Grubhub or Uber Eats or whatever.
Whoever.
So the common thing now, especially because of COVID, is drop and go.
Yeah.
They bring it to your house, they drop it somewhere near your front door, and they leave. If you've got a porch that has some access to it, some stairs up to a porch, and it's, the porch might be a little bit bigger, it's safer to have things out exposed up on there than it is if you just have like the sidewalk walking up to your door and one step and away you go.
Mm-hmm.
It just creates this little bit of, and I'm not saying this is foolproof, it's obviously not, but it's just less inviting for a thief because it takes a little bit more time, a little bit more noise to get at your stuff if it's kind of up and away from, not easy to just kind of grab and run.
Yeah.
So it might actually be a legitimate reason to put a small porch or deck on your
It's a little safer.
I do know that at my house, when we get packages dropped, I appreciate that I have that little 6x8 landing that's 6 or 7 steps up.
Oh,
and
yeah,
it can tuck closer to my door, so nobody can kind of come up to the front of the steps and reach it even. It's deep enough back that they would have to come up right onto my doorstep, right in front of the doorbell, right in front of the door.
Everything.
And be like really tight to my house to get it, right? As opposed to just like sneaking it off the front step and running. So, and I'm going to put a spike belt on the top step.
Is that what
it's going to be a triggered spike belt.
It'll be right next to the corner so that when they walk by, it'll shoot out like the actual ones.
Yeah. It's going to slay their shins. Like, it's just going to be shin soup on my
shins
on my porch.
Sorry about that, mailman.
I don't have to worry about that
because you never trust anything.
Well, no, we don't get our community mailbox, but that's not true because the courier guys come there all the time. But yeah, sorry about your shins, mailman. Yeah, poor guy works for Purelator.
Sorry, Purelator, FedEx.
Yeah,
Amazon guy.
So anyways, you can create a safe space up there for your packages, for your deliveries, even for people coming to your house. It's just, I don't know, I feel like it creates a bit of a buffer zone between you and...
It's a much more functional greeting entrance.
Oh, good call. Number 12/11/5 was more functional greeting and entrance. So you said this at first and I hesitated because I was like, what does this mean? How is it more functional, whatever? But then I got it for a second because... Well, maybe you should explain it because it was your idea.
Like, there's a lot of houses these days that don't have a very big, like, front entrance. So you open the door and you're just in the house.
Yeah.
And so when 3 or 4 or 5 people show up, everything gets real crowded on the inside.
Yes.
And with a porch, it gives you just a lot more room to, like, greet people and slowly bring them into your house.
Yeah. Well, and even like, what if it's somebody you don't want to talk to?
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's the Vivint security guys again.
I hate those guys.
Oh, my God. Don't get me started on those guys. But it's nice to be able to have that buffer zone there, too, where they're not just kind of like right up on your front step and you swing the door open and it's like everybody's crowded right there. It's like, I'd like to be able to keep those guys back a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I see what you're saying now. Like, you're right. A lot of the front entrances or foyers, or whatever you want to call it, into people's homes are very small and crowded. I've been to people's houses before where you walk up to that top step and you almost have to step back and out of the way to let the door open.
Yeah, there's that too.
Right? The landing's so small, you got to step off the top step. I know by code they're supposed to be big enough to be able to open the door and not have you bump off. But I mean, if you've got your family of 4 or 5 all up on the steps there trying to get into somebody's house, like I can see where that could be helpful, especially too if it's elderly people living in the home. They might want a little bit of a landing strip leading up to the house just to, they don't want to go stairs to inside right away and have to battle the door opening and everything else. So I see what you're going with. Where are you going with that? More functional greeting / entrance area.
Safer for your packages.
And safer for your packages. Quigley Dex on here says, as the backyard is becoming an extension of the home, big rear windows and sliding back full doors are just a matter of time. So get into the business of selling those then. That's what he's saying. I don't know if that's what he's saying.
Is that what he's saying?
No. So what do you figure, Bryce? You going to go build a porch in the front of your house now or what?
Well, there's got to be some downsides.
Oh, good segue into So I don't know if there's many downsides, but we did identify one thing that's you need to be aware of.
You have to
if
be
you're gonna
aware
do a porch,
of it.
that the rules in the front of your house are often different than the back of your house. Chances are you can't build a... What?
Well, the rules on the front are always different than the rules on the back.
Okay. Are you talking about the blow-up dolls?
Yeah.
The rules in the front are often a little bit more restrictive than they are in the backyard. For example, you may have a much larger setback off the front sidewalk or front street of your house that you're not allowed to build on than you do in your backyard. It might be more forgiving. Maybe you can build a bigger deck in the backyard. But I'm not suggesting that you even build a big porch in the front yard, that it should be becoming your main space. I'm just saying that I actually think it should be the smaller, more quaint space, like I said before. But you just need to be more aware of the rules. There's some places that may not allow you to have it so high, depending on your neighborhood. I don't know. There may be it may be too imposing on the street or something. Certainly there's rules about how close you can get to the front street. You've got to be aware of potential like water mains coming into the front of your house. And that's more just construction detail to be aware of. But there may be some things that you have to take care of. I don't know this for a fact, but some cities may have more stringent rules on the materials you use in the front of your house. You may not be allowed to use plastic decking because you're in a neighborhood that requires everything to be you know
natural,
what I mean?
Yeah.
They might have to be all wood, or you might have to skirt in the front of your deck because they have a rule about exposed framing or something to that effect, right?
Okay.
There may be some things you have to worry about as far as a construction detail in some areas. Other places it'll be free for all. It'll be like, do whatever you want.
Free for all.
Do it and cover up the garbage that's sitting on the front of your lawn, please.
Please.
So, yeah, I wouldn't say it's a con, but it's certainly something you may have to be aware of. And being on the front of your house, you're much more likely to be caught if you decide to not follow the proper procedures.
Oh.
So you do want to make sure you go and check your zoning and permitting rules with your local building department, because a little bit harder to just build it and pretend
Someone's
it's not
just gonna
there.
drive by.
Well, it's happened here, right? People ask like, what if I don't get a permit? It's like, well, then nothing happens until something happens.
Until someone sees it.
Well, do they just drive around and like they'll just come like check my backyard? No, they won't. But if it's on the front of the house and they're in the area already and they're doing a permit at your neighbor's house and they happen to drive by and see that your deck is not to code because it's like visibly violating something, then yeah, they're going to call you on it.
Yeah.
It's on the front of your house. It's pretty easy for people to see. Which is why you shouldn't ever stay out there. Go in your backyard. You don't want to be exposed to people.
Stay in your backyard. Scrap this episode.
But just be aware of that there may be some rules and you want to follow them in the front yard for sure. Not that you don't want to follow in the backyard. I'm not saying that. Follow them everywhere. But if you're the guy who's not going to follow the rules, you're more likely to get caught in the front.
Make sure you really follow them.
And in the back.
In the front
Follow
yard.
them extra in the front. That's it. Bryce, are you going to go and listen to some ASMR now?
No, I'm going to go build a porch.
Okay, yeah, good call. Yeah, I might have to do mine this year too. Okay, thanks everybody for tuning in. Appreciate it. If you're wanting some details on Deck Expo, feel free to reach out to us because we're in the group and we're excited for it. So,
be there.
see you next week.
Thank you for listening to the Ultimate Deck Podcast. Now you know what we're about. Check the site, come and shop. UltimateDeckShop.com. Hit us right away for sponsorships or tell us if you want to collaborate. Let's go. Check us out on any social networks. Thank you for listening.